in my other videos about the J women videos and stuff, I think I mentioned that in those videos. I'm not sure, but you wonder. Like a lot of guys say, wow, I'm walking around here and seeing all these beautiful women and blah blah this and blah blah that, and why these Japanese guys don't date them and they stupid, they so fine and this and stuff, this and that. But what you gotta understand is that Japanese men know they're women. They know they're women. That's like a Japanese guy will walk up to you and and see some girl that's in your neighborhood and he wants to marry her, and they get married and all of a sudden she's dressing nice because in Japan, they don't sell bummy clothes, and most people when they go out they buy nice clothes, and maybe he might have a good job, and the reason he probably got a good job and a good business is because he living in his own country, and the discrimination that he might face is not the destructive discrimination that we face in America. So then he got a good job, and then she can call home and talk to her girlfriends or whatever, saying, yeah, my Japanese man, he's real good, he got a good job, got a business and a big house, and girl, you know what I'm saying, these black men, they ain't doing this, they just in jail and this and that and all this stuff, and I can never live like this if I was to be with a black man, and all of this stuff. And I'm not saying, it's like that, but, people how they talking. Guys do the same thing. They'll meet this girl and say, wow, my wife, she cooks for me, and she does this for me, she cleans the house, and we take baths together, and she washed me up, and, she does this for me and buy me this and buy me that, and, and stuff like that. And they'll turn around and say, well, if I was in America, black women, then, nowadays, they don't even cook for a brother no more. They don't cook for a nigga no more, and you got to beg them and stuff, and this and that, you asking for some money, huh? You better forget that, you know what I'm saying? And so those are the attitudes and those are the things that makes things kind of difficult for us, because what it is we are putting ourselves in environments and stuff that are vastly different, from the environments that we come from. And like I walk down the street, like when I was out here. Okay, let me start on the subject. So basically, that's it, and it happens with everyone. You'll get a Japanese guy, he can be with his Japanese wife, and these women, when they with their men, they on these guys hard. They give them no slack, and they on these guys really, really hard. And they had 2 babies and no sex for no more, or the guy wants a lot of sex and the wife don't want it, or the wife wants a lot of sex and the husband don't want it, and then they go out with their kids, and when you go out and you see this stuff, you go out to lunch, and the guy and the woman, sometimes they're not even talking, he might be on his phone texting, and she'll be talking to the kids, or the father might be taking care of the kids, and she might be texting. Like me and my wife, we go out, and I'm always the one watching the kids, and I'm always feeding them first, and she eat and take her time, and it's like if I'm some type of a how can I say that, a slave or something, but like I said, we only got married for the kids, so I can't even get upset, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes I tell her, I said, you need to be more of a mother sometimes, and do things, because you got me here, I'm here and I'm doing this, but I'm doing this because I love my kids too, but they seeing what you're doing and stuff, but then when I'm not around, I'm sure she takes care of him and stuff like that, take them different places and stuff, so I really can't complain, and then the personal life, that's going through, you eventually you go through the same things, they're going to treat you just the way they're going to treat, if they were with a Japanese man, and at first it doesn't, how can I say that? At first it doesn't, you don't see that, but over time, and they, just slowly grinding and twisting you up and all this stuff, and eventually you're like, man, I don't like Japanese women, and I don't like this, and and it's not their fault, you got in that situation, you let it happen, and if you wasn't paying attention, then how can you blame somebody else for your errors and stuff. So basically, that's what it is when a lot of people who date other people and stuff, they don't have the negativity, they don't have all that stuff that you do in your own neighborhoods and stuff, and like me when I was in Venice, like I grew up in Venice, and it was like I didn't date any of the women, in Venice and stuff, but I talked to a lot of people and everything. But, I don't think I was really respected or anybody really cared about me. I had my problems. We didn't get into, I only had like a couple of altercations and stuff like that, maybe 3 or 4 at the most. And, but, a lot of people judged me, and whatever, so I'm like, all right, whatever, it's okay. I did my best to go to college and stuff, end up moving and stuff like that. But, I turned out okay. I always talk to sisters. I mean, maybe the sisters now and the ones back when I was they might be different. But I always talk to them, and even when I went back, I saw one sister. She was sitting on the bench. I said hi. She just smiled and said hi. This was at the West Grove or something like that. I forgot, in LA or something like that. And it was nice. I was on the beach. Me and my friend Too Tricky, and walked by, and some white lady looked at us and started smiling and stuff, and I was like, it's just YouTube, whatever YouTube's saying, whatever, it's different. But then, when I was in LA, though, no one ever actually thought I was black anyway. They thought I was African or Caribbean or something like that. So maybe that could have had something to do with it too. I don't know. But anyway, it's just the attitudes, not the attitudes, not your attitude that you give out. It's the attitude that you create. So basically, when you run into somebody, you say, this person's not going to like me because, everybody in my neighborhood says I'm like this. I'm like this. I'm too loud and this and that. And then when you speak to them, or you don't even give them a chance, they'll walk up and say, hey, how you doing? Or they might, walk up and say, how you doing, my sister? I ain't your sister. You talking to me like that for, and, everybody is sisters, the other day I was at Starbucks, and I was in Kochi, and I think he was from maybe Pakistan or India or whatever. He rode by on his bike, and he looked at me, and I looked at him. He said, what's happening, my brother? And I was like, it's all cool, it's all good. And he kept on going, and I get that. I mean, you hear all this negative about, how Indians, Pakistanis, and stuff don't like us, but a lot of times when people get into these environments where they're away from that negativity and stuff, and start letting their own feelings grow and let their own judgments develop and stuff by how they feel or what they perceive and stuff. A lot of people really are nice. I mean, I talked, the other day I was talking to this one guy from India that I go eat at his shop, and he turns out to be a very famous writer, and he writes a lot of books, and what are things called? A lot of his writings are used in universities and stuff. He's a very famous writer, and a publicist or whatever it's called. Not a publicist, publicist maybe, I'm not sure, I forget. But anyway, this guy's really famous, and he was telling me, he said, hey, I came to Japan, for one thing, and I ended up getting, pretty much, settling here because of the advantages and things that he was able to do, making money and stuff like that. But he said, I was real popular. I'm very popular in India, and probably what probably was disturbing to him was the fact that